Now, there was a man there who said, we are all God's children. We are all God's children, brothers and sisters. It's a pretty simple kind of thing, isn't it, really? But just imagine if we lived like that, if we lived into that reality, that we are all God's children, brothers and sisters, how different this world could be. It is such an extraordinary thing. I'm excited. This is a bit of a Urantia moment because many people know that Pato and Antoinette are students and teachers of a spiritual text called the Urantia book. And the man, the visionary behind this movie, Gard Jameson, is also one of the giants in the Urantia community globally. And maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't. Actually, just out of interest, who's heard of the Urantia book? Oh my gosh, we must be in California. Wonderful. Well, the Urantia book has changed my life too. And I've never really spoken publicly about this, but I have my involvement with Unity Earth as a direct result of my experience of reading and studying the Urantia book. And so not only is this book that's been around for more than half a century, maybe up to 70 years now, but the secondary works are too many to account, too many to number. You look at what Pato and Antoinette do, you look at what so many people around the world do. Maybe you don't know that it's connected to their connection to the Urantia book, but there are so many secondary works that are happening around the planet, invisible, visible, mostly invisible, that are inspired by the Urantia book. So, I'm really excited about our next speaker, because our next speaker is out and proud as a reader and a student and a teacher of the Urantia book, which I'm very, very excited about. It's an incredible global community, but Gabriel Rimberg has come all the way from Israel to be with us today. So please make him feel very warmly welcomed. It says, Gabriel Rimberg is a truth seeker, visionary, and entrepreneur with a personal mission to spread spiritual teachings. And Gabriel created, as his offering to the world, the Center for Unity. And the Center for Unity is a non-profit organization incorporated in Israel. Its members are long-term Urantia book students and experienced leaders, as is our large family of volunteers. We believe in the personal relationship each individual has with God. The life and teachings of Jesus make this relationship practical and accessible to any human being. So please, without further ado, to talk to you about his passion and his mission and his heart-centered project, the Center of Unity, all the way from Israel, Mr. Gabriel Rimberg. Welcome to the LA Convergence.
Thank you, everybody. I'm so excited to be here, and I do come with blessings of the Holy Land, which I call Jesus Land. The Center for Unity is in the business of hope, but not a regular business. It's our mother's father's business. And what I want to show you today is how we actually manifest this hope in the world. So imagine an apostle of Jesus was standing here, and you could ask him anything you wanted. There would be many questions we could ask, right? So we can ask who Jesus was, or we can ask who he is, or we can ask, was he a prophet or a spiritual teacher? Was he Christian? I have funny stories about that. Many people in Israel think Jesus was Christian. And it comes from the Hebrew word, because the Hebrew word for Christian is the same as the Hebrew word for somebody coming from Nazareth. So, was he Christian? Of course not. Was he God? Very, very deep questions, right? But I want to share my own question. I would ask him, why should we talk about Jesus? Why? So, the next generation of people, the ones that we want to talk to, they're looking for hope. Everybody is looking for hope. But we're talking to the next generation. They're also looking for meaning and purpose. They're looking for good role models. I found from my own personal experience that a personal relationship with our mother, father, which I call God, just for shorthand, is something that gives you all of those things and many, many more. So when I go around, I share with people this little mantra of mine. And I tell them, listen, you too can find God for yourself, by yourself, in yourself. And it's a little bit like a meme, right? We are in the meme era. We talk about memes. But then people ask me, how do I do that? And then I would say to them, wouldn't you like to know what somebody who did just that, what did he do? And that somebody is Jesus. Of course, he's not the only one. But we have a lot of information about what he did and what he was. And that's where the Urantia book comes to. But there's another question that comes up. And that question is, I'm not really interested in religion. I'm not Christian. I might be even a non. There's something called the nuns. Have you heard about the nuns? N-O-N-E-S. It's a whole category of people that when they're asked, what is your religion? They go down that list and say, I'm none of those. I may be spiritual but not religious, but I don't really care for any of those. And there's more and more people that are putting their name in that box. So they might ask me, you want to talk to me about Jesus, but do I have to study the Bible? Do I have to go to church? Do I have to become a Christian to talk about Jesus? And to them we say, it is really up to you. If you want to do any of those things, that's fine. But we want to talk to you about the Jesus before Christianity. You know, there's a joke that I go around in Israel and I tell, I'm working for the most famous Jew in the world. And when Israeli people catch me and say, oh, you're working for Albert Einstein. And I said, no, I'm working for Jesus. And some of them look at me and say, but Jesus was Christian. There's 6 billion people on this planet that heard the name Jesus, but know precious few about it. They don't know. And we want to talk to them, but we want to talk to the young people. So, what is it that we're going to tell them? I mean, the Bible has lots of stories, right? But there's something even better than the Bible. It's the director's cut of the Bible. It's called the Urantia book. And part 4 of the Urantia book is called The Life and Teachings of Jesus, for a good reason. Only part 4 of this book holds 777 pages. Very small font. 445,000 words. I've counted in a Word document. Really, I did. 100,000 words of those are direct quotes from Jesus. This is a fantastic thing. I don't have time to go into it, but if you want to ask me, I'll tell you. We're using this. But the question is, what is it that we're going to do? Okay. We have 3 projects. We're working on an app. We're working on a museum in Israel, and we're working on a TV series. Yeah, big things. The app is like a Wikipedia. Now, we're writing from scratch, and we're also designing a new interface, only about Jesus. We're not copying the regular Wikipedia. It doesn't have all the information. We're getting the information from the Urantia book, and we're writing new essays, hundreds of essays. In words and in tone and in the information that is going to interest the young people. And then when they're truth-seeking and they will get to that website and they will have questions that they would like to share. So for example, we're going to tell them what Jesus really thought and did about gender equality, because all that information is in the Urantia book, and it's true. And people will be very much interested, especially the women, what is it that he thought and taught and did? And when they hear about these things, they're going to say, I want to talk to somebody. I want to talk to my peers. I want to talk to somebody and ask questions. So we're going to have a social platform in this app. And all of this is going to be free and ad-free. This is not Facebook. There's no ads. This is going to be private, and you can talk to people about this. So this is the metaverse. It's just a name. We're using 21st century technology. This is a knowledge graph. It's something from computer science, but it's inside this app. And before we built it, we did a whole process where we actually questioned young people. We did focus groups, and we read primary research about what is it that they're looking for when they're truth-seeking. This is a girl called Fiona. She's an imaginary person. We made her up to put ourselves into her shoes and ask ourselves, how can we build a product that they would like to use? Because if they don't use it, no, what's good it for? So I'm going to show you a little bit of what is it that we're telling them about Jesus. So in this product, we're going to tell them about every person that was involved in Jesus' life and also the relationships between these people. Would you like to know what was the difference between Mary and Joseph as they looked at Jesus' life, even when he was a child, and said, well, is he going to be the Messiah? Is he not going to be the Messiah? They were arguing about this. So we're going to show you their relationship. But we're also going to show you topics, concepts. What is it that Jesus was saying to his apostles and to the people he was teaching? So we're writing these things. For example, self-mastery. How did Jesus treat women? That's going to be a long essay that explains everything. For example, he homeschooled his own sisters because they couldn't go to the synagogue school, but he thought they should have education. Nobody knows that. We're going to tell you about it. We're also going to tell you about all the places where things happened. Mount Hermon, Capernaum, Nazareth, Jerusalem. What happened there? All of it is in this product. And when. We've got timelines. So first century Palestine, every place Jesus went to, everything that we know with dates. So this is the metaverse. Then there's a museum. This is the Sea of Galilee. So on the shores of the Sea of Galilee, this is an 800-seat performance venue that has been waiting for 40 years. It's empty. It has never been used. And in this place, we will build an immersive attraction. We'll take you back in time, 2,000 years, and show you what Jesus was, what he said, what he did. The departure point for this story is going to be this ancient boat. This is a 2,000-year boat, fishing boat, that was excavated from the Sea of Galilee 40 years ago. It's carbon dated to the time of Jesus. The historians who checked this boat said, the Romans were not building boats like this. This has something new in it, a new technology, the way they put the boards together. The Urantia book tells us that Jesus spent a whole year designing a new type of boat and building it. And it was so popular, because it was better, that after 5 years, every fishing boat on the Sea of Galilee was coming from that boat shop. So, I'll tell you in secret, the Vatican wanted to pay $3 million to the state of Israel to take this boat for a year and put it in the Vatican. They know something. This could actually be one of the single most objects on this planet that Jesus designed and maybe even built. So this is going to be the departure point for our story. This is not the only thing we're working on. This is very exciting. And Stephen, who's in our team, is sitting there. We're going to show Jesus on the big screen. Of course, it has been done many times before, but nobody used the director's cut. And there's so much information there that is going to blow everybody's mind. So we're going to do a multi-season TV series, something like The Chosen, but based on the Urantia book, telling things that were never told before on this planet. We think it's time. So I hope I convinced you that we are in the business for our mother, father, and we're selling hope for the younger next generation on this planet. The Center for Unity. Thank you.